Anita is up tonight. Look how pretty she is in her turquoise. Anita is also, everyone who comes here has all these slashes. She's a law professor, attorney, poet, comic, actor. Come on up. Talk to us about all that. She came last month and she was so excited to tell a story.
Okay. My piece is called Waiting for the Prince. As a little girl growing up in the 50s, I dreamed of the prince riding up on his white horse, or was it a white Porsche? Whisking me off to marry me. I planned out every detail of my wedding. A chocolate wedding cake, a dress with flowers embroidered in it. I even picked out the names of my children, 2 girls with boys' names, Alex and Tony. But there was one big problem. I think the GPS wasn't working on the prince's Porsche because he never found my house. So I moved on to more than a half a century of some wild, crazy, zany dating experiences and a few marriage proposals along the way. Well, my first date was at age 13, and it was historic. Why, you ask, is it historic? Well, a group of female friends, I being one of them, and a group of guys from a military academy went to see the legendary Nat King Cole perform at the Lotus Club in Washington, D.C. When I look back on it, I wonder, why did they let us into the club at our ages? I wonder why my mom said I couldn't go, but my dad said, oh, it's okay. Since at the time, I had a figure 36, 24, 36. God, I wish I had that body. My teen years were a blur of dating. Barry, the guy whose older brother had to drive us on our first date. Hank, the guy who trudged through the snow to go out with me. And 3 guys named Jim. I lost my virginity to one of them. Which one was it? But in a less humorous vein, when I was 15, I went to visit my aunt and uncle in New York City, the big city. And I was a sheltered girl from Maryland at 15. My uncle taught me a lesson about men that I remember to this day. He said, out of 10 guys, 8 are obvious, excuse the expression, bullshitters. He said the last 2 are the problem. 1 is really sincere. The other is using sincerity as his game. Unfortunately, my uncle taught me this lesson while he fondled me without my permission, a memory that I repressed for 30 years. Then came my first marriage proposal at age 19. Gene, the Air Force guy. And when my friend Marilyn met him, she came bounding up the stairs, which was quite a feat since she was 9 months pregnant at the time, and exclaimed, he's a Greek god, which was kind of funny since he was Jewish. And furthermore, he didn't remain a Greek god forever. He gave me an engagement ring, which I did return when I cheated on him, and I realized that I was not ready for marriage. Gene and I had a rerun. He found me 34 years later. But when I saw him, the former Greek god was a hot mess. Everything was wrong with him, and I truly did not want to be a nurse. After my first year of college, I was bored, and I wanted to quit. My friend Nancy said, stay in school and we'll become lawyers. She quit and had babies. I followed her advice, and now I'm a childless lawyer, still waiting for the prince. Then came the master's degree. I was dating Harvey, a friend of my older brother. I was in school in Connecticut, and he flew up to Connecticut and proposed to me during a movie. My response is, don't bother me, I'm watching the movie. Do you think maybe I'm the one who doesn't want marriage? Then came law school. I was quite popular in law school. I was the vice president of the Evening Student Bar Association, and the school sent me to the first ever Women in the Law Conference in Austin, Texas. I met Sarah Weddington, the woman who argued Roe v. Wade. When I returned, though, one annoying male law student spread rumors about me and my women liberal friends that we were all lesbians. None of us were, we just didn't want to sleep with him. Now, after law school, I got into my classic dating pattern. Dating 2 guys at the same call my mom and say, your future son-in-law is going to be Italian. Solid one. No Jewish, the player. Guess which one I chose? So I'm still waiting for the prince. Now in my 40s, it was the guy who was dating 2 women, me and another woman. He dumped me, even though his kids and his friends loved me, because he said she represented a psychological battle he needed to fight. Where do I find these guys? Then came my Cooper stage. My friend Diane suggested that I ride the horse in the direction that he was going. Since guys my age didn't want me and younger men adored me, why not go out with younger men? So I did, dating some even as young as 25. Well, at least they were legal. But alas, no marriage proposals there. So what's a girl to do? I consulted my board of directors. You know, every woman has one. Your girlfriends. Most of them saying, marriage is boring, you're not missing anything, etc., etc. Yet, I still lusted after the marriage and the wedding that I missed along the way. But hope springs eternal. And now I'm dating an age-appropriate man, but oops, he's a dyed-in-the-wool bachelor. So I sense no marriage proposal coming here. So I have an offer for all of you. Should you see a handsome prince wandering around, would you please give him my address?
He's just in the wrong universe. I'm very interested. Bernie,